Welcome to this video on gerunds versus infinitives by Exam Sam. In this video, we're going to look at gerund and infinitive exercises with answers. First, you'll see a definition of what are gerunds. Then you'll see some examples of gerunds in sentences. You'll also see a definition of what are infinitives, with examples of infinitives in sentences. Then you'll see lists of verbs that are followed by the gerund and the infinitive form. Finally, there will be 15 gerund versus infinitive exercises for you to try. So, what are gerunds? A gerund is a verb form that ends in ing. Gerunds act like nouns in sentences. You need to use the gerund form after some verbs and the infinitive form after others. Now, look at the examples of gerunds on the next page. Okay, here we have the examples. I wish he would stop talking. Here the verb stop takes the gerund, the ing form, talking. He denied cheating on the test, so the verb deny also takes the gerund form. I regret arguing with my parents, so the verb regret also takes the gerund form. And the last example, she misses walking on the beach. So again, the verb miss takes the gerund form, which is walking in this sentence. So here's a list of a few verbs that are followed by the gerund form. Consider, delay, deny, don't mind, enjoy, finish, give up, involve, miss, put off, regret, remember, risk, stop. Okay, so what are infinitives? An infinitive is the verb form with to. The to infinitive is sometimes called the basic verb form. Examples of infinitives are shown on the next screen. Okay, here are the infinitive form examples in sentences. He agreed to start work on the project. So the verb agree takes the infinitive form, which is to start in this sentence. We decided to go to a movie. So the verb decide takes the infinitive form as well. She tends to exaggerate things. So the verb tend also takes the infinitive form. And last of all, you deserve to live in a nice house. So the verb deserve also takes the infinitive form, which is to live in this sentence. Here is a list of a few verbs that are followed by the infinitive form. Afford, agree, aim, arrange, attempt, appear, begin, claim, decide, deserve, fail, forget, hope, learn, offer, promise, seem, tend, threaten. Next, let's go to the gerund and infinitive exercise with answers. Put the verb in the gap in the to infinitive form or the gerund ing form. The answers are given after each exercise. If you need help, go back to the gerund and infinitive lists on the previous screen. Please note that each question will be shown for 10 seconds and each answer will be shown for 15 seconds. Please pause if you need more time. Let's go to question 1. Let's go on to the answer. Now we'll move on to question 2. We'll have a look now at the answer. Going now to question 3. Let's move on to the answer. Let's go to question 4. Let's go on to the answer. We'll move on now to question 5. We'll have a look now at the answer. Going now to question 6. Let's move on to the answer. Let's go to question 7. Let's go on to the answer. We'll move on now to question 8. We'll have a look now at the answer. Going now to question 9. Let's move on to the answer. Let's go to question 10. Let's go on to the answer. Let's go on to question 11. We'll have a look now at the answer. Moving on to question 12. Let's move on to the answer. Let's have a look at question 13. Let's go on to the answer. Let's go on to question 14. We'll have a look now at the answer. Moving on to question 15. Let's move on to the answer. Thanks so much for joining us, and please remember to subscribe to our channel.